And everybody out there planning their days, how are we looking on Saturday?
Well, we've got the chance for some storms, and it's going to be hot today. So we're just a couple of days away from the first official day of summer. I know a lot of people, even including myself, we like to think it's June 1 or when the kids get out of school, but it is actually the 21st of June. So we're a couple of days away, but it's going to be feeling like summertime here across northeastern Oklahoma. But during the overnight tonight, we're going to have more of a May-like storm system moving across our area. And we'll talk about that here in a second. If you've been with us here over the last hour and a half, we've been talking about how we are going to see some storms during the overnight. So we'll talk about that here in a second. It's 81 degrees right now in Okmulgee. Already seeing some warming nearing 80 degrees in Stillwater and Pawnee. A little bit cooler where we've got more cloud cover in far eastern Oklahoma. There were some showers moving across portions of central Kansas. And out of that system, we've seen some cloud cover kind of moving south and now moving to the east. But for the most part, we've got blue skies across the area, and we do have some clouds. You're on the field forecast. If the kiddos are headed out to enjoy some time on the field, the winds are going to be light. The fields will be firm until tomorrow when we get those storms overnight tonight. So let's go ahead and talk about that. This is the storm zone, the same one I've been showing here this morning, and storms going to begin out in western Oklahoma, and as they form and move into central Oklahoma, they'll eventually move into far eastern Oklahoma. So you can kind of tell where that storm track is. It's going to be in the far north central part of the state, and as those move across, hopefully they'll lose some of their energy and they won't be quite as severe by the time they reach our area, but still expecting storms to be a little bit rowdy overnight tonight. So temperatures today are going to top out in the upper 80s, low 90s. So we're going to have some warm air, and that's going to help provide some instability along with the moisture to kind of get some of these storms going. So by the time we get to about 10 o'clock, these storms are going to be knocking on our door, moving into the area by about 11 and midnight. And some of these are going to have some big hail with them. They're going to have some strong winds, especially as these storms first move into the area. And then depending upon how quickly they move in and out, the storm should be out of our area by the time we get to about 7 a.m. And winding down from northwest to southeast. Temperatures tomorrow morning in the 60s, and we dry out for your Father's Day. But the biggest threats with these storms are going to be hail and wind. Tornado threat isn't zero, but it's still something to keep an eye on this time of year. So here's that storm time arrival once again. Storms, they're going to form out in western Oklahoma and portions of the Panhandle 7 to 9 p.m. And then depending upon how quickly they move, we're going to see storms in central Oklahoma by about 9 to 11, and then knocking on our door and moving into northeastern Oklahoma by about 11 o'clock to midnight. That tornado threat, something to keep an eye on, but storms at the low end tornado threat. Biggest tornado threat is going to be out in portions of Colorado and in far western Oklahoma when these storms first get going. Wind and hail threat, and then a slight flooding threat just with how much rain these storms are going to drop. But temperatures for your Father's Day, a little bit cooler. We'll be in the upper 80s, and we'll have a little bit of mugginess, but not quite as bad. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, as we finally begin to feel a little bit more summer-like with temperatures in the 90s. We're going to have nearing triple-digit heat index values. So our feels like temperatures are going to be in the triple digits this next week for our first official